Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a ranking here for the Scream franchise. It's now updated with Scream 6 involved here. And as I said, the titles really pissed me off. You have Scream, Scream 2, 3, 4, not Scream 5. You have Scream, and then Scream 6. That pisses me off. It's ridiculous. Everybody's mad about it. Everybody's talking about it in their videos and shit that I've watched since last night. Anyway, this ranking video is pretty much my ranking, personally, objectively, on what I think about these movies, just so you know, in case you want to argue down in the comments. I doubt many of you will. Scream 6 was a good flick, and I do think it's going to rank pretty high on my list from what I decided to do today as I thought more about it since I woke up, since I recorded that review for the movie a little bit ago. And I think I'm settled on where I am. Again, this list won't change much from last year's list when I included Scream 5 when it finally came to DVD and I finally got to see it in like May or whenever it was. You can check out those videos and those reviews in my Scream playlist if you want to. But anyway, let's start off at the bottom of the list. The bottom of the list for me, by the way, I don't have separate DVDs and VHS tapes here with me, so I have like a combo pack and shit, so I'm going to be holding up the same box over and over again to show you certain movies. I have the trilogy set that I bought a few years back when I went on my honeymoon. These ranking videos are much better when you have like individual DVDs per movie. That always makes it easier for me as a reviewer or a ranker or whatever, but also more interesting for you guys to see the different copies people have and whatever. Anyway, with the bottom of the list for me, the one that I still hate the most, that is Scream 2. Scream 2 sucks. I think it's horrible. I think it's the worst sequel in the entire franchise. I hate the flick. There's barely anything decent about the movie. I hate the twist. I hate the reveals. I hate all of it. I hate all that shit. I understand the motive for the killings, but I cannot stand this movie at all. Moving along to my number 5 pick on my list. That would be, I'm fooling you, that's Scream 3. Once again, Scream 3, for me, is a bad movie for sure, but it is more watchable and a better movie, in my opinion, than Scream 2. A lot of fans hate that. I'm not really a fan of the Scream franchise, as I said in my previous review for Scream 6, and a lot of the other reviews as well. I love the original film. I'm a massive fan of the first 2 seasons of the Scream TV show. I haven't seen season 3. I plan on reviewing that soon. I started to include the TV series in this review, or this ranking. Decided not to do that this time around. Because I haven't seen all the seasons, I kind of figured there's no point in waiting. It's going to take me like another week to probably get that review series out, or those few videos, whatever. I will probably rank the seasons. I don't know, there's probably no reason to. I think most people came to the conclusions on what's better than what. But overall, Scream 3, to me, is not the worst thing ever. It's not a good movie, as I said. It's just a little mediocre. I'm not a fan of the reveals. I like it better than Scream 2. The motive for the killings, a little weird, but I like it better than Scream 2. I like the fact that it's in Hollywood and not fucking theater college. Like part 2, that was horrible, bad choice. I hate that so much, you have no idea. But yeah, Scream 3, to me, is a better film than Scream 2, and I will stand by that. It's not saying it's a good film, and me not being a massive fan of the series, outside of one, kind of part 5, which I liked more on my rewatch yesterday, and now Scream 6 and the TV show's first 2 seasons, that really tells you everything you need to know about me. Not a hardcore fan of the franchise, but I do like certain entries a lot, and I do like some more than a lot of the series, you know? Anyway, moving along to my number... I can't count. My number 4 pick. I don't have a list on my phone or anything in front of me right now. My personal number 4 pick is pretty much what it was before, and that is Scream 4. Scream 4, for me, improved on a lot of things. It came out many years after Part 3. They decided to go back, and of course this is the final one directed by Wes Craven, they decided to go back to Woodsboro and make it a small-scale slasher movie, which at that time was getting popular again. Wes Craven eventually also made, not too long after this, a movie called My Soul to Take. I think it was his final movie he ever actually made, aside from doing executive producing positions and that kind of thing. Scream 4, for me, improved on a lot of things and had good characters. You had Jill, you had Emma Roberts in this, who is a really good actress. I really like her a lot. Even if I'm not a big fan of this movie, it's okay. Has some good moments in there. I would say, it seems like a lot of the Scream franchise fans are really big fans of this movie. A lot of them put it as their number 2 on their rankings, and I kind of get it to an extent, but not really for me. I think it's okay, you know? It's okay. It's fine. It's decent. you know? One of the best things about this film that brought so much to Scream in general was Kirby, Hayden Panettiere's character, who came back for Scream 6. Really good addition to this cast. Really thought she was really well done. Really enjoyed her. Very good performance from her as well. Legacy characters all came back. Dewey, Gale, Sidney, all of them are here. Roger Jackson came back as the voice on the phone, that kind of thing. That stuff was cool, but Scream 4, to me, doesn't have much to offer. The kills were better than they had ever been at that point, even though Scream 1's kills are probably better overall in hindsight. Scream 4 is a little bit underwhelming, just like Scream 2 and 3, to me. But that's a little controversial, ain't it? Alright, moving along to, this is where things really get shaken up, because, again, I've said for a long time that Scream 5 was my favorite of the sequels. Even though it was a rough, a little bit of a messy film, it still had a lot of really good in there. So what am I going to rank higher, 5 or 6? And it might surprise a lot of you that I'm putting those two as high as I am. For me personally, my number 3 pick on my list is Scream 5. Yes. I think Scream 6 is better than this. Scream 6 is the best sequel out of the franchise in my personal opinion right now. But Scream 5 for right now at the number 3 spot is a good flick. It takes place in Woodsboro again, kind of a small-scale slasher again. A lot of us had our hopes about this film. A lot of us were hoping that things would have changed a lot and done something new. And they kind of really don't. But I still liked what I saw here. I loved Dewey. David Arquette was in this. He did a great, great job with his performance. And it's wild to me that this came out last year in January, and now we have a brand new sequel in March of the following year. That's cool. That's like a Ty West move with X and Pearl or something, you know? That's really neat, and I'm really happy with that. This is a good flick. Really good kills. Probably the best since Scream 1 at this particular time, until Scream 6 came out, which is not the best kills ever. But these were really good kills. I like that about it. I think it has a good cast. Everybody tries to put something really good in here. There is a character like Mindy that I just don't like. Mindy is annoying. I just don't like her at all. And my biggest reason for having this as low as it is because the motive for the killings is horrible. It's horrible. It's stupid. It's the most bullshit Hollywood thing I've ever heard in my life, where it's about Hollywood hating you, as they typically do nowadays. They learned from that shit and learned from the complaints, and they went into Scream 6 making a better movie overall because they didn't try to blame fans for shit. That was a good thing. But, yeah. Anyway, moving along to my number 2 on the ranking, that would be Scream 6. Scream 6 was really solid. Really solid. Again, to me, the best of the sequels. It was straight out and out a good movie for me. The killings were, again, good, like Scream 5. Nothing to write home about, nothing super impressive or anything. I think the TV show has better kills than any of these movies aside from Scream 1, the original movie. But this, it just feels like Scream 6 was some kind of passion project idea that they had. People like myself were a little confused on why the Neve Campbell thing happened. Not that I'm a big fan of her either, just wondering how the fans would respond. And frankly, all the negative criticism I typically see about this movie so far since yesterday, when I really started looking at reviews, seem to be fanboy responses of Sidney not being in the film. And I think that's stupid. I think it really is stupid because Neve Campbell never offered that much anyway in these movies, and I still stand by that. Yeah, I understand she's important, but so? That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't really mean that she had anything to offer for really bad horror movie sequels. And typically underneath average sequels to a franchise, in my opinion at least. Scream 6 being a New York City set movie, that was something different. I really loved that about it too, even though they didn't utilize Scream 6's location in New York City that well, like they should have. I still liked a lot of things that were done here. I thought it was fun. I thought it was actually very tense, quite often. The motive for the killings, you have to see Scream 5 to understand what's happening here, and I really like that about it. To me, it was one of the best reveals of the entire series for like the end of the film killer reveal stuff. I thought it was one of the best out there, easily. I thought it was really fun. A good movie, a lot of good humor. Hayden Panettiere came back as well, which was a really good plus as well. She was phenomenal in this movie. I really enjoyed her here. And of course the Carpenter sisters, we follow them again. I liked where they had come to in their lives after part 5. That was really cool. Loved all of that, man. When it comes to my number one spot, of course, it is the OG 1996 classic, directed and created by Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson, and that is Scream. The original film right here, not this other bullshit right here, just this one. Scream, really great flick. Really, really, really great flick that I love deeply. So good. I remember the first time I ever watched that on VHS. My mom, you know, she would have it playing on the TV every once in a while when I was growing up, but I never actually sat down and watched it. And at one point when I was about 12, 13, somewhere in there, I was a big horror fan in general because I'd grown up on horror, mainly Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, a little bit of Chucky, even though he scared the shit out of me. About the time I hit 12 or 13 is when I was able to be brave enough to watch Child's Play movies. And I also saw things like Scream for the first time ever on VHS. And my mom still has those VHS tapes of Scream, Scream 2, and Scream 3 to this day. I'll tell you this, I thought Scream was so damn good. I loved thrillers, I loved crime movies, and that's kind of a really good hybrid of that and slasher, all in one. It's the ultimate whodunit. It's the ultimate perfected, in my opinion, movie version of a whodunit in general story. I love it. I think the kills are really great. The gore looks phenomenal. The direction on it's kind of, direction's a little cheap looking. It's a little bit timely for its time. It hasn't aged entirely well on that with the haircuts and shit, but it doesn't really matter. It's still a great film. We don't judge Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street or anything like that on that basis, even though those have aged a little bit more poorly than this film has, because this film is newer. But the 1996 original film is perfect. It's perfect. I wouldn't change anything, and I don't think most people would change anything about the film. You can't guess who the killers are by the end of this film. It is so freaking good. It is so strong, and everything about it is so strong. It's just so well acted. You know, the performances here, dude, everybody was good in it. Sidney Prescott, with Neve Campbell playing her, she's good. Of course, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, or Ulrich, however you say his name. I think it's Skeet Ulrich, right? My mom had a crush on him back in the day. I assume it's Ulrich, like she said, because I'm assuming, being a girl, that she would be obsessed with the guy. Anyway, really, really good performances from everybody. Everybody involved there was phenomenal. And there's a reason why people like myself still say to this day that the sequels of Scream, even including Scream 6, are a poor man's version of the original movie. They really are. And you could say that about any of these horror, big, iconic slasher franchises. You really could say that about any of them. Saw, Halloween, any of them. But what I would challenge you with is, to me, a lot of the time, it seems like the Scream sequels, mainly 2, 3, and 4, and kind of 5 even, not so much 6, those movies to me feel like somebody tried to recreate Scream, or they were the flawed versions of the original concept for the Scream film. This OG movie is too perfect to quit on. I think if you haven't seen them, you're missing out. You need to see all of these movies. They are so damn good. Well, when I say that, I mainly mean like this movie and a little bit of Part 4, mainly 5 and 6. Really good stuff. The TV show's good too. Like I said, the first 2 seasons of that. I haven't seen 3, but the first 2, really good. Really, really good. Anyway, with all that being said, guys, thank you for watching. I would love to hear what your rankings are down in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Where would you put Scream 6 on your list? Have you seen it yet? I'd love to hear all that down below, too. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Scream franchise for now. I'm curious if Scream 7 will come out next year. If it is, I would be very surprised. That would be awesome. That would be so awesome if we could have that come out next year. But I don't want to rush it. I want a good movie. There is supposed to be a new trilogy, as in 5, 6, and 7. There's supposed to be a new trilogy that's here. And personally, the way Scream 6 went about its events, I would love to see that. I would totally love to see where we go with that. Anyway, have you seen them all? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comment section down below. Next year, I might include the Scream TV series in the ranking. I don't know. I'll see then, but probably not this year, as I showed you already in this review. Do you love these films? Do you hate them? Are you a big Scream fan? Are you not so much a fan like myself? What do you think about all of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down in the comment section down below about everything having to do with Scream. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. God bless you all, and goodbye.